Pahlavi text translated by E.W. West, Part 4. Contents of the Nasks, Clarendon, Oxford University Press, 1892. Dinkard, Book 9, Chapter 12. 1. The 11th Vargard, the Yasna, is about the assembly of the angels of the spiritual existences on account of the complaint of fire and the complaint of fire in the assembly, with its statement of this too: I am not of the world here, and from here I will extricate myself from the earth up to the sky, and there I will shine on to the earth of 7 regions, like the moon and sun, and even the divinely produced stars, when they shine with their own light. 2. The words of Ahurmazd about the just complaining of fire as regards the contamination of the creatures, the impossibility of keeping the fire undisturbed and satisfying the fire concerning the creation of the creatures for the worldly existence, along with the disturbed condition of fire too, owing to the impossibility of maintaining the uncreated state, which, with the freedom from disturbance of fire also, was better, likewise proclaiming the care of it. 3. And the speech of the fire was thus: If there be not that one mode whereby I may thus shine, owing to those that have acted according to my request, thou art aware, O Ahurmazd, there are some among the creatures that I cannot grant so much to. Therefore carry me away, O Ahurmazd, then give me away there. And be thou carrying me away into the midst of Aironveg. 4. The propitious fire is from the Creator Ahurmazd, and it is produced by him in a dwelling without being handled, bara sudako, by aid of bringing together. 5. And so he spoke in words thus: Such is thine own growth, thou who art my fire, in every dwelling where thou comest, and in every village, every community, and every province. And as exalted as thou art, the water and plants, and he too, who is a guardian spirit of the righteous, when they shall bring forward holy water for delivering up to thee, and when they shall bring forward to thee firewood which is dry, a person, through the light which he observes, has spoken of it thus: This is the Gusen Asp fire. 6. About so much reward of the hewer and inspector and kindler of the firewood, when all 3 shall do it for the sake of affection, as they are possessing righteousness. 7. About the character and reward of the washer, Asnotar, and the producer of the purity and cleansing of that which the fire has dropped, of the introducer of the firewood and washer upwards, of the stirrer of the fire, and the carrier away of the firewood, who are strictly directed, the lawful work done with a cooking pot, and such like, and the sin of him who is a disturber of it. 8. About the destroyer of that which the fire has dropped, and the introducer of damp firewood into it. 9. About the blessing of fire for people by whom it is satisfied. 10. About advice as regards not bringing to the fire that which is due to theft, are the power of extortion, and the grievous bridge judgment of him who is bringing it, also the defilement, aludan, and hurting of the fire from that which occurs when he likewise consecrates his hoard, han barisno, owing to the corruption by the demons thus arisen. 11. This too, that it is owing to want of attention to fire, when it is not at every menstrual excitement they produce, in a woman assisted by a propensity for a son, pus randi, that the progeny is a son. 12. And about the penalty for the progress of other impropriety which occurs to fire, also about the person who has attained to the guardianship of fire and does not lawfully control it. 13. About an admonition to Zarathustra as to consecrating to the sacred beings anything whatsoever which one eats, and not eating what is unconsecrated. 14. About the wish of the evil spirit that no one shall be performing the deed do non ado worship and obeisance to the sacred beings, and that people shall possess no ruler and high priest, so that no desire of theirs shall arise for any virtuousness. 15. About an admonition as to indispensably worshipping the sacred beings with the best ceremonial, that of a priest, asruko, without sin, or with an average one, that of a priest whose sin is not more than one aradus, without a basis, a boon, or with the lowest one, that of a priest whose sin is not more than one kor, on a basis, pavan boon. 16. Whoever in the village of Mazda worshippers has not chanted the sacred hymns after 15 years of age through sinfulness is as a dog they have thrown provisions to, and it has occurred for a basis of the sin of unseasonable chattering. Also the inadmissibility of his soul by man sarspend. 17. About the coming of ast vidad at all times to mortals whom death has reached, and also whom it has not. 18. About the ideas of the wicked, that the best existence does not exist, that the production of the renovation of the universe does not occur, that there are no dead whom they raise up thereby, and it is not that change one attains. 19. This too, that is false for the same reason they observe being wicked, because the best existence exists. There occurs a production of the renovation which is good, they raise up the dead thereby, and thus one attains that change. 20. About an admonition as to not making lamentation and weeping over those passed away, and after the passing away of every righteous one of the religion to the spirits, one is not to augment the distress of the very spirit of life by making lamentation and weeping over the departed. 21. And this too, that the guardian spirits of the righteous claim no lamentation and weeping after their own ceremonial and the blessings of righteous men. 22. This too, that the body of everyone is not of like will with the soul. Food is the desire of the body, and also a store of wealth. Righteous action is the desire of the soul, and also the gifts which they give away. 23. About an inquiry of the righteous Zarathustra as to who it is who is banished, aparinido, all goodness and perfection from his own self, but thinks them not banished, and does not complain of that loss. 24. And the reply of Auharmazd, that it is he who is deceived by his own tongue through the utterance of words, so that, through speaking falsely, he has become worthy of death. 25. This too, that for him it is the weapon of the evil spirit, even so complete mindfulness is the reign of Spendermod, and thus a liar is more a power for the religion, when a man on account of dullness of thought gives no reply, so that he may not speak falsely through dullness of thought. 26. This too, that he worships the demons with 1,000-fold holy water, who establishes him who is not a member of the community in the zote duty, sooner than him who is a wise zote. 27. And this too, that thou shouldest fetch him who is a member of the community for the zote duty, not him who is not a member of the community, for thus they advance is to the supreme heaven. Garod Mano. 28. Also this, that a bad zote is worse from the zote duty. 29. This too, that which is the earliest controller, a yuktar of sin, is thought, which is subdued, then forgiveness, then shame, and then listening. and afterwards, through the sinfulness of the fiend, one becomes a promise breaker. 30. This too, that they shall bring every man who is a wounder before the convocation, composed of any priest who is a controller of recitation, Sra Yisno, a Yuktar, and a priest who is of the district, a Dahik, and a priest who is of an out district, a Uz Dahik, and any priest who is the man's own kinsman. 31. Thus I say unto thee, O Spitaman, let there be no breach of promise, neither when the conversation that they would make a support was with the wicked, and there is no great judiciousness in it, nor when it was with those of thine own religion, the righteous as to anything of great judiciousness, because both of them are promises, both with the wicked and the righteous. 32. It is the excellence of righteousness that is perfect. And the thing about the priest reminds us that the outer deeds don't make up for something being wrong with the innerness, the spiritual unworthiness of an individual. And it just makes the situation worse. That they're, even if they're doing things perfectly on the outside, but the inside, they're, one of the ways that people are misled is thinking that their evil deeds are good. People think that their disbelief, particularly when it's something that they have so-called reasoned out, there's a phrase, the mindless liberal, and in a way, yeah, people are convinced that they're more of a thinker, but what their thinking is doing is, fulfilling a preset condition of rebellion. As difficult as reading some of these transliterations can be, it's good that they're there because it narrows down the specific sort of thing that's being talked about, that sometimes you have the same sort of phrase, but there's different wording. And it's better to not act, to not believe, or whatever, than to just make something up or to do it wrongly.